Dave Sider, baby. This is Rock Radio UK, and today I am speaking to the rather magnificent Cory Vincent. Hello.
How's it going, Dave?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Doing great, man. It's a
Uh,
sunny Sunday, so we're good over here.
yeah, we've actually got a sunny Sunday here as well for a change. So, the
Nice.
British summer seems to be living up to its reputation for the most part at the moment. But you're not in the UK. Tell me where you're from.
I'm over here in Washington State in the U.S. So I live on an island called Whidbey Island. We're about an hour and a half north of Seattle.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I came across you guys. Well, it's Cory Vincent and the Electric Band. I came across you guys when you released a single. What must have been about 3 or 4 months ago now, I suppose.
Yeah, February, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, "Be Mine," um,
Yep.
and it just captured my attention. And we sort of had a quick chat on the old emails, and you said, "Oh, I've got an album coming out sometime, so this is what we're here to talk about." So, tell me about the album.
We're really excited about it. It's self-produced. We kind of did everything ourselves. Tracked it, at home studios, and then a friend of ours in a town called Bellingham. He has a home studio. His name is Jeremiah Austin. Um, Royal Purple Recordings is the name of his place. So we cut some
Okay.
tracks there, and we were kind of sitting on the songs and trying to figure out where we wanted to mix and everything, and decided to give it a go ourselves. So it was an awesome experience. It's something I've always wanted to do. So really proud of the songwriting, but then also proud of the fact that we got to have our hand at the mixing side of it too.
Okay. Is this the debut album, or have you been productive beforehand?
For for uh, for the Electric Band, it is. Yeah, I had a solo album that I put out in 2019.
Right.
Um, and But yeah, this is the first for the Electric Band. So
Okay. So your style of music, I mean, how would you describe it?
it's definitely rock. I think everything I do is pretty blues influenced, though. So
Yeah.
we definitely I can't help but have that influence in there. And we're kind of the old school definition of a power trio.
Yeah.
Just bass guitar and drums and vocals. And I got my great friends Charlie Kringle on bass, Phil Carter on drums, and it's great, man. We just have a lot of fun. Our live performances are different every night, which I really that's always been my goal for a band.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Okay. So I suppose for me, just Be Mine was quite different to what I was expecting from a power trio, shall we say, the first single. Um, it kind of slithered along the ground. I mean, it's it's got that bluesy feel to it, and you definitely got that rock vibe to it, and it was just something that little bit different, and it captured me straight away. I mean, what's your take on the song?
Oh, thanks, man. I would say it's definitely I'm a huge fan of Stone Temple Pilots
Yeah,
and kind of the 90s grunge scene, and that's definitely kind of a nod to that. Um, and the songwriting as well. Scott Weiland's one of my favorite rock songwriters.
right.
So it was definitely kind of paying tribute to that style. And just, you listen to that stuff and you get so ingrained with it that you can't help but it just comes out.
Yeah. One Man Show opens up the album. Uh, that's quite a ballsy in your face rocker for me.
Yeah, that
So
one was a lot of fun. That was one of the ones that was pretty much like a one take kind of attitude that we were trying to capture.
yeah.
Not a lot of heavy production, just in your face. Here's the album. Here's who we are. And yeah, that one's a lot of fun. It's really fun to play live too.
Yeah, I bet. Uh, but I've got to say, third track, I Hear It in Your Eyes. That is probably my favorite track on the entire album.
Thanks, man. That I'm glad to hear you say that because I'm really proud of that song. And I definitely we spent a lot more time on that one production
Right,
wise, and I had so many different ideas for that song, and it's actually like I've had it written for a couple years, and I've done acoustic versions of it for because occasionally I'll do some solo shows just to
right.
make some extra cash. Um, but it took us a while to really hammer down an idea for it, and I'm really proud of what we came up with. And it was so much fun mixing, getting to use some different effects and stuff. And uh, you know, I love straight up rock and roll and keeping it gritty, but I also love like bands like Supertramp. So
Mm.
it's like kind of going for that big production sound.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of everything. I mean, it starts off in the first few bars, and you think, "Oh, I know where this is going." Then it goes completely off on a different tangent, and it's just fantastic. I just love it.
Thank you.
Uh, so where are your inspirations from? I mean, you mentioned Stone Temple Pilots and you mentioned Supertramp. I mean, what have you grown up listening to? What was your
I would say, I started playing guitar when I was about 13, and I had uncles that played and stuff, and
right?
I kind of was expressing some interest in it. And my dad brought home Stevie Ray Vaughan Texas Flood album,
Right.
and I was like, okay, that's what I want to do, and started I took some lessons for a while and just really dove into the blues at a pretty young age. My first concert was BB King, and
Okay.
so I was just obsessed with the blues in high school. And then as you get older, got my first record player, and the first two albums I got were Black Sabbath Paranoid and Zeppelin 4. And so it was just like, oh well, this is blues to the next level. I love Tony Iommi's playing.
Yeah.
um, and then just kind of, I mean, I almost went chronologically as far as rock. It's just I kept going, got into the 90s stuff later.
Mm.
um, Guys like Warren Haynes is a huge influence on me for sure. I
Yeah.
love his songwriting and his style of playing. So yeah, that as far as guitar, that is those are kind of my bigger influences. But then I also like I grew up on country music, so it's like Hank Williams and Waylon Jennings and all the way up to Garth Brooks and all that. So
Yeah.
it's there's a lot. There's not a lot that I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, I think it reflects in the actual album itself as well because it is a little. Each song is a little bit different. You can't say that each song fits a particular genre all the way through the entire album. It's just like a little snippet of here. This is why I asked the question because I can hear a little bit of country in some of the songs. I can hear a lot of blues there. I can hear I can actually hear a little bit of Sabbath, but I can also, like you said about Stone Temple Pilots and stuff like that. I can hear all that. So it's quite it's quite refreshing actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
that's definitely the goal is because those are the bands that I love that would, kind of dip in and out of every genre.
hmm. um, so for you, the songs on the album, what for you stands out? What are you particularly proud of?
Definitely hear it in your eyes. I
Mm,
I think that one I just feel like it's a solid song, and I would love for people to be cranking it up, this summer. And I was just really proud of how it turned out and how we mixed. Gosh, it's hard to pick. Honestly, "In the Flames" is a completely different song, I think,
yeah,
compared to the rest. But I was really proud with the way that turned out. Because it was a little bit more raw and vulnerable, and it might not be perfect, but I was proud of the lyrics and just the way that kind of turned out.
yeah. Um, I'm also loving the bass lines. Is it False Sanity?
Oh
There's
yeah,
quite a
yeah,
groove in that as well.
yeah. Charlie's a monster bass player, and he's actually a better guitar player than me too, so it
No,
keeps
we
me
don't
on
say
my
that.
toes.
I'll cut that bit out. If he watches this back, there'll be no living with
Yeah.
him. Okay. So all right. Tell me about the other guys in the band then.
Yeah, so my bass player, Charlie Kringle, I've known, gosh, for probably over 10 years. He's just a bit younger than me, and he worked at a local music store for years.
Right.
But I saw him play when he was like 16. I walked in the music store and I see this young kid just ripping away on a really nice Soldano amplifier, and I'm just like, who is this? You know,
Mhm.
and we kind of talked slowly throughout the years, and always kind of wanted to do something together, but we're in different projects. And finally, it just kind of lined up, and we're like, man, we really need to do this. And then he's actually suggested Phil Carter, my drummer,
Yeah.
and we got together. Phil has a little storage unit that we use for a rehearsal space, and got together the first time. And it was kind of right away like, okay, this is something special here for sure. And then the more I get to know Phil, it's like we're great friends now, and he's
Yeah.
got so much experience. He's played in so many different bands, so many different styles of music, and is really into the production side of it too. So he's just such a valuable asset to have. And I would say the thing I love the most about this band is there's so much personality in each of our individual styles,
Yeah.
but it's very cohesive, and we're all kind of serving the song. There's not a lot of ego. It's like we're not just playing to hear ourselves. It's like, okay, well, does that fit with the song, or are we just trying to serve ourselves? And it's we're very song conscious.
Okay. Okay. Um, so you've obviously been gigging. You mentioned you gigged the other night. So, how often are you getting out these days?
Uh, we're not doing a whole lot at the moment. I'd say we're 1 to 2 times a month right now.
Right.
Um, we've just been really focusing on getting this album out, and then trying to build up some hype from there, and get a little bit bigger gigs. We've got a few music festivals that we're playing here locally, and
Mm.
um, just trying to, now that we have the product, is getting it out there and spreading the word, and hopefully getting some bigger gigs.
Okay. So the scene itself, I mean, you think like Washington State is going to be quite a healthy scene because of its history. So, do you finding
Yeah.
that?
Uh, Kind of. It's
Kinda.
really strange. I mean, it's Seattle definitely has a scene. The rock scene is, unfortunately, it's kind of small. There's
Right.
a great metal scene, and uh, our actually local scene that's a little bit farther north. It's crazy the amount of super talented songwriters, and so
Okay.
there's actually like a really good Americana scene up here.
Right.
Um, so that's awesome. But where we're at, there's not a lot of rock venues, so we kind of got to branch out and find some places. But yeah, man, we're just we're looking for everywhere that wants good rock and roll music.
Okay. So I assume the idea is to venture out of state and cross the entire country and
Yeah, for sure,
maybe
and
maybe
overseas.
across the pond.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate goal for sure.
Right, I'm booking you now. Um, okay. So
Perfect.
when is the album out? You said is dropping, was it middle of August?
Yeah, August 12th,
Okay, so and what's it called, by the way, sir?
Volume 1.
Okay,
Try to
volume one.
keep it simple.
So where can these people who might be interested in your kind of music, um, where can they get a copy of volume one or pre-order, I
So
assume?
August 12th, it'll be available pretty much everywhere you stream music or download, like iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. Probably the
Mm,
best way is just to go to coryvmusic.com, and it'll have the links for all of that stuff.
yeah,
One thing I've really been encouraging people to do is to go to that website and sign up for our mailing list. And that's kind of where I'm keeping everybody up to date, because
right.
I'm horrible at social media stuff. So I'm just trying to send out the emails.
Yeah. Yeah, social media does take a lot of loving sometimes.
Yeah, and it's, it's a cesspool, but it's a necessary evil in this business.
I I mean, you're basically self-financed. You've done the album yourself. You're doing everything yourselves. Uh,
Yeah.
the days of the record label are becoming quite close to the end, surely, because everybody has
Yeah.
to do so much
Yeah.
before they can get signed. I mean, you finding this?
100%. And then the thing is, a lot of these bigger labels, they're not really going to have a conversation with you unless you have a certain amount of followers or a
Mm,
following, and then they want to sign you. But then you're like, well, I did all this work. Why would I, what's the benefit of signing with the label?
yeah.
So, we're just trying to figure it all out, just like everybody else. At the end of the day, I do it because I love it. I'm never going to stop writing.
Mm,
So, we'll just put it out there and hopefully get it to as many ears as possible and kind of build a following ourselves. But it's, like I say, it is that necessary evil of having to juggle all that stuff at once, which, a lot of our heroes didn't have to worry about filters and all that stuff.
no. Yeah, I can just imagine the early days of Black Sabbath thinking about social media
Yeah.
content. The mind boggles just might what have appeared online, but
Yeah.
thankfully, thankfully not. Um, oh dear. Um, so what are your aims going forward?
Like I say, I think just getting these songs out to the masses, I'm not too much of an arrogant person, but I think there's some really good songs on here, and I would
Yeah,
just
I
love
agree.
to hear them being played everywhere, and if you listen to my lyrics, there is a little bit of a message in a lot of those songs that, is I want people to hear. So just getting it out and also um encouraging people to get back to writing whatever you want instead of trying to figure out what the algorithm wants, or
Mm,
what's going to get you clicks and all that. Just make good music and focus on the music, and let everything else fall into place as it will.
okay. One thing I haven't asked you is about your sound itself. I mean, yeah, what guitars, what strings, what cabs are you using? I mean, are you
Oh yeah.
precious about it, or are you more
um
songwriter?
I'm definitely not a gearhead, but I enjoy looking at gear like everybody else all the time instead of actually writing songs.
Yeah.
But I'm not too biased, but I'm a Les Paul guy. So I
Yeah.
have my gold top Les Paul that I primarily play in the studio. I'll use a Gretsch quite a bit for some of the rhythm tracks.
Okay.
Um, I've got a nice Strat that I put together that I kind of pieced together and built myself. So those are probably my three main guitars. My amp is just a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe that I've had since I first started gigging. Um, and then I'll run that through a Marshall cab if the venue's big enough, or
Mm,
when we're in the studio. And then, pretty basic pedal board, just fuzz and some phaser. I've got a rotosphere that acts like a Leslie simulator, kind of. So just all those good late 60s, 70s sounds.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely hear it on the album. It's just like, yeah. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? I mean, now we're here. Now we've got the public captivated, as it were.
Man, I don't know. I did want to say, my day job, I drive around and deliver coffee, and I downloaded your guys' app, and I actually I love listening to your station because it's so cool to hear, you know, the super popular bands that we all know and love, and then right next to local or
Mm,
smaller independent groups, and it's just really cool. It's something that we definitely don't have here in the States, enough of.
Really?
Yeah, so I just think it's really cool, and I hope that I've been spreading the word, so I hope that we can uh, let more people know about it because it's really cool.
Thank you, sir. I mean, it's something we've literally just celebrated our first birthday of my ownership at the station. Phil Hampton built the station about 10 years before.
Okay.
And we, when we talk about bands and stuff like that having a social media following, um,
Hmm.
we've turned out actually we're the biggest independent UK-based internet station over here, and that makes me sit back a little bit sometimes. And none of the others are like us either. You know, you say that and you don't get enough of that in the States, but
Yeah.
none of our UK stations are really as eclectic, shall we say,
Yeah.
as us. And I think that is our biggest selling point because I don't tell any of the other guys what they got to play.
Hmm.
It is just down to them. We chat amongst ourselves and we have a laugh and we have a giggle, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, each and every DJ is their own person and they can pick and choose what they want to play. So it's great. And I thank you for spreading the word. I appreciate that. You must be our US listener.
Yeah, it's me. It's me. Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's like I say, it's great, man. If I'm not, because I listen to a lot of podcasts too, but sometimes it's like, all right, I'm tired of hearing people talk. I need some
Yeah.
music, and that's typically where I go because it's nice to just not know what's coming up next. So many radio stations are so predictable with what they're gonna play. It's nice to just go in with my mind ready to be blown.
Good. Well, once the album drops, I shall be playing a few more of the tracks, so you'll be hearing a bit of yourself on the radio with any luck.
All right.
Okay, Cory, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. The album is, well, it's stunning, really, because I love it. Um, it's in my top five of the year,
Oh
I'd
man,
say.
thank you.
That's right. I've still got to say Sons of Liberty for number one, mainly because they
Nice.
pay me. But
Hey man, that's all good.
but but no, I mean, I've been listening a lot to Demon, and I've been listening a lot to another band, Grand Slam as well, and those are like the top three. But this one, yeah, I mean, you could make number four.
Thank you, man. I
I've really
really
got to say that. We're in July now, and it's going to take a lot to beat that. I do like a band that comes along and just blows my mind. So you've done well. I'm hoping for big things for volume two. I've got to say.
Thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
Uh, it's my pleasure. I mean, for people to be creative and to do something a little bit different than what you expect is, yeah, yeah. You guys have got all the talent. I just talk rubbish.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. I hope that everybody else feels the same way.
Yeah. So remind us again of the website where they can get all the links and get the emails.
Yeah, CoryVmusic.com. And that'll get you to all my social media pages, YouTube, which I'm working on getting a bigger presence on there as well. And then yeah, be sure to subscribe to our mailing list because that's where I'm really trying to get people the most updated information and some exclusive things. So
Oh,
it's trying to create our own community.
brilliant, brilliant. Cory, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.